There's a specific sound a Vera Wang dress makes when you walk down a church aisle. Silk rustling against Italian marble. 300 guests holding their breath. A string quartet playing Pachelbel's Canon in D. I heard all of that on September 23, 2024, the day I destroyed my own wedding. My name is Jasmine Carter. I'm 28 years old. I'm a corporate attorney from Atlanta, and I spent $80,000 on the most expensive revenge in history. Let me tell you how the happiest day of my life became the day I chose myself. 2 days before my wedding, I couldn't sleep. Not because of nerves, not because of excitement, but because something felt wrong. You know that feeling? When your gut is screaming, but your brain is saying, you're just being paranoid? I was lying in bed at 2 a.m., scrolling through my phone, trying to calm down. My fiancé, Marcus, was at his bachelor party in Miami. I trusted him. We'd been together for 4 years. High school sweethearts who made it through college, law school, everything. He was my best friend, the man I was supposed to grow old with. That's what I thought. I opened Instagram, just mindlessly scrolling. And then I saw it. A story, posted by my maid of honor, Brittany, my best friend since freshman year of college. The girl I chose to stand next to me at the altar. The girl I trusted with everything. The story was just a quick video, dark club, loud music. But in the corner, for maybe 3 seconds, I saw it. Marcus, kissing her. Not a friendly kiss, not a drunk mistake. A deep, passionate, I've done this before, kiss. My hands started shaking. I watched it again, and again, and again. Maybe I was seeing things. Maybe it was the angle. Maybe it was someone who looked like Marcus. But then I saw his watch, the Rolex I bought him for his birthday, the one with our initials engraved on the back. It was him, and it was her. I sat there in that bed in the dark for 3 hours, just staring at my phone. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't call him. I just sat there, thinking. By 5 a.m., I had a plan. See, most women in this situation would do one of 3 things. Cancel the wedding, confront him immediately, or pretend they never saw it and go through with the wedding anyway. I chose option 4. I was going to let him think everything was fine. I was going to walk down that aisle. I was going to stand at that altar in front of everyone we know, and then I was going to destroy him. Not with violence, not with screaming, but with truth. Public, undeniable truth. I'm a lawyer. I deal in evidence. And I was about to present the strongest case of my career. But first, I needed more evidence. Because 3 seconds of a dark Instagram story wasn't enough. I needed something irrefutable. The next morning, Friday, the day before the wedding, I acted completely normal. Marcus came back from Miami around 10 a.m. He walked in with flowers, with that smile, with a kiss on my forehead. "Hey, baby," he said. "I missed you." I looked him in the eyes, searching for guilt, for shame, for anything. Nothing, just love, or what looked like love. "I missed you too," I said, and I kissed him back. We spent the day doing last-minute wedding preparations, picking up the cake, confirming with the venue. Everything was perfect. He held my hand, made jokes, acted like the man I fell in love with, and the whole time I was dying inside. But I didn't let it show, because I had work to do. That afternoon, while Marcus was at the barber getting a haircut, I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through his phone. I knew his passcode. We'd always been open like that. No secrets. Or so I thought. I opened his messages, and my heart sank further than I thought possible. There were texts, hundreds of texts, between him and Brittany. Going back 8 months. 8 months. This wasn't a drunken mistake at a bachelor party. This was a full relationship. Behind my back. While I was planning our wedding. The messages made me physically sick. I can't wait until this wedding is over so we don't have to pretend anymore. She has no idea. You're such a good actress, LOL. After the honeymoon, I'm going to tell her, I promise. Then we can be together for real. And the worst one, from 3 weeks ago. Brittany, do you even love her? Marcus, I love what she represents. Stability. But you? You're my soulmate. I screenshotted everything. Every single message, every photo they sent each other, every plan they made for their future together. My future, the one they were stealing. I sent all of it to my email. Then I deleted the sent messages from his phone so he wouldn't know I'd seen them. And then I put his phone back exactly where I found it. When he came home with his fresh haircut, smiling, asking if I liked it, I smiled back. "You look perfect," I said. And I meant it. He looked perfect for his public humiliation. That night was the rehearsal dinner. 75 people, both families, the wedding party, all our closest friends. Marcus gave a speech about how lucky he was, how I was the love of his life, how he couldn't wait to spend forever with me. Everyone cried. His mom hugged me. My dad shook his hand. Brittany, my maid of honor, gave a speech too, about our friendship, about how happy she was that Marcus and I found each other, about how she knew we'd last forever. She hugged me, whispered in my ear, "I love you so much, Jazz. Tomorrow's going to be perfect." I hugged her back. "Yes," I said. "It really is." I was calm, eerily calm, because I had already moved past sadness, past anger. I was in a place of cold, calculated justice. They wanted a wedding? They were going to get a wedding. Just not the one they expected. That night, I made the final preparations. I contacted my cousin David, who works in IT. I told him everything, sent him all the screenshots. He didn't ask questions, just said, "I got you." Within 3 hours, he'd created a video presentation, a slideshow, with timestamps, with messages, with photos, everything. Set to music, professional, devastating. He also hacked into the venue's projector system. The same projector they were going to use to show our love story video during the reception. Except now it was going to show a different story. The real story. I also wrote a speech. On my phone, in my notes app. At 3 a.m., sitting on the bathroom floor in my childhood bedroom, tears finally coming. Not tears of sadness, tears of rage, of betrayal, of grief for the life I thought I was going to have, but also tears of strength. Because I was about to do something most people don't have the courage to do. I was about to choose myself. September 23rd, my wedding day. I woke up at 6 a.m., got my hair done, my makeup, put on that $15,000 Vera Wang dress, white silk, off the shoulder, a 12-foot train. I looked like a princess. My bridesmaids were there, including Brittany, all of them helping me get ready, popping champagne, taking photos, crying happy tears. Brittany kept looking at her phone, texting. I knew who she was texting. My mom came in, held my face in her hands. "You look so beautiful, baby. Are you ready?" I looked at myself in the mirror, at this woman in white, this bride, this fool who almost married a liar. "Yes, Mama," I said. "I'm ready." The church was packed. 300 people. St. Philip's Cathedral in Atlanta, the most beautiful church in the city. Stained glass windows, marble floors, Gothic architecture. I'd dreamed of getting married there since I was a little girl. The irony wasn't lost on me. I stood in the back room with my father. He was crying. He never cries. "I'm so proud of you, Jasmine. Marcus is a good man. You two are going to be so happy." I squeezed his hand. Didn't have the heart to tell him yet. He'd find out soon enough. The wedding coordinator came in. "It's time." The doors opened. The music started. Canon in D. The song every bride walks down the aisle to. And I walked. One step at a time, holding my father's arm, holding my bouquet of white roses, holding my head high. I looked at the guests, 300 faces smiling at me. My aunts, my cousins, Marcus's family, our friends, everyone we loved. And then I looked at the altar. Marcus was standing there, in his tuxedo, looking at me like I was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen. Next to him, his best man, his groomsmen. And on my side, my bridesmaids, including Brittany, in her lavender dress, smiling at me, pretending to be happy, pretending to be my friend. I walked down that aisle for what felt like an eternity. Every step was a choice. Every step was a decision. Turn around or keep going? I kept going. I reached the altar. My dad kissed my cheek, placed my hand in Marcus's hand. Marcus was crying. Happy tears. He whispered, "You look incredible." I didn't respond, just stared at him. The pastor began. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the union of Marcus James Thompson and Jasmine Nicole Carter in holy matrimony. He went through the traditional ceremony, the prayers, the readings. Everything was going according to plan, their plan. And then he got to the part I'd been waiting for. If anyone here has objections to this union, speak now or forever hold your peace. It's usually just a formality. No one ever objects. It's just tradition. But this time, someone did object. Me. I raised my hand. Slowly. Deliberately. Like a student in a classroom. The pastor stopped, confused. "I'm sorry?" "I object," I said, my voice clear, steady, loud enough for everyone to hear. The church went silent. You could hear a pin drop. Marcus looked at me. "Jazz? Baby, what are you doing?" I turned to face him, looked him dead in the eye. "I object to this marriage," I repeated, "because the groom is in love with someone else." Gasps, murmurs, confusion rippling through the crowd. Marcus's face went pale. "What? Jasmine? What are you talking about?" I turned to Brittany. She was frozen, eyes wide, panicking. "I'm talking about you and my maid of honor," I said. "I'm talking about the 8-month affair you've been having behind my back." More gasps, louder this time. People were standing up, trying to see what was happening. Marcus tried to grab my hand. "Baby, no. That's not... There's been a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" I pulled my phone out from inside my dress. Yes, I'd hidden my phone in my wedding dress. A lawyer is always prepared. I turned to my cousin David in the audience. He nodded, pulled out a remote. The projector screen behind the altar lit up. And there it was, the slideshow. Every text message, every photo, every lie. I can't wait until this wedding is over so we don't have to pretend anymore. She has no idea. You're such a good actress, LOL. Do you even love her? I love what she represents, but you're my soulmate. The messages played on the screen, time-stamped, dated, irrefutable. The church erupted. People were yelling. Marcus's mom screamed. My mom started crying. Marcus lunged toward the projector. "Turn it off! Turn it off!" But it was too late. Everyone had seen it. Everyone knew. Brittany was sobbing, mascara running down her face. "Jasmine, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It just happened." I turned to her, my voice ice cold. "It just happened for 8 months? You stood in my apartment yesterday helping me get ready while texting my fiancé. You gave a speech about our friendship while planning a future with my husband. Don't you dare say it just happened." She had nothing to say, just stood there, crying, caught. I turned back to Marcus. He was shaking, crying, reaching for me. "Jazz, please, please. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. I made a mistake." "A mistake?" I laughed, actually laughed. "A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. A mistake is being late to dinner. An 8-month affair is a choice. You chose her. Every single day for 8 months, you chose her." I took off my engagement ring, the 3-carat diamond he'd proposed with on a beach in Malibu, the ring I'd stared at for a year imagining our future. I threw it at his feet. "You can give that to her, since she's your soulmate." The church was chaos now. People were leaving, people were yelling at Marcus, at Brittany. His groomsmen were trying to calm him down. My bridesmaids were hugging me. But I wasn't done yet. I walked to the microphone, the one set up for the vows. "Can everyone please sit down for a moment?" I said. Surprisingly, people listened. The church got quiet again. Everyone wanted to know what I was going to say next. I took a breath, and I gave the speech I'd written at 3 a.m. 2 days ago, I found out the man I loved was in love with someone else. I could have canceled this wedding. I could have confronted him privately. I could have handled this a lot of different ways. But I chose this. I chose to bring all of you here, to let you get dressed up, to let you bring gifts, to let you witness what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. And I know some of you are thinking, why? Why would you do this? This is cruel. This is unnecessary. You've humiliated him. I paused, looked around the church. And you're right. I did humiliate him, just like he humiliated me. Except I did it once, in front of everyone who matters. He did it every single day for 8 months, in secret, while I planned a future with him. I brought you all here because I wanted witnesses. I wanted everyone who would have celebrated our marriage to know why it didn't happen. I wanted the truth to be public, so that when he tells his version of this story, when he plays the victim, when he says I'm crazy or vindictive, you'll all know what really happened. I wanted you to see that I chose myself, that I walked away from a lie even though it was expensive, even though it was embarrassing, even though it was painful. Because I deserve better than a man who calls someone else his soulmate while putting a ring on my finger. My voice cracked. The first time it had cracked all day. I deserve a love that doesn't make me check phones at 2 a.m., a love that doesn't require detective work, a love that shows up, fully, honestly, every single day. And if that means I have to start over at 28, fine, I'll start over. Because starting over is better than building a life on a foundation of lies. I looked at Marcus one last time. I hoped she was worth it. And then I turned around, picked up the train of my $15,000 dress, and I walked back down that aisle, alone, but not broken. The church was silent except for the sound of my heels on marble and my dress rustling against the floor. I walked past my parents, past my friends, past everyone, and I walked out of that church. The doors closed behind me, and I finally let myself cry. My maid of honor, well, my real maid of honor, my cousin Maya, she ran after me. She found me sitting on the church steps, still in my wedding dress, makeup running, bouquet on the ground next to me. She sat down, didn't say anything, just sat. After a few minutes, she said, "That was the most badass thing I've ever seen." I laughed through my tears. I just blew $80,000. No, she said. You spent $80,000 on the most important statement of your life. You told the world you won't settle. That's priceless. She was right. We sat there for a while. Then she said, "So, we have a reception venue, a DJ, an open bar, and a 5-tier cake. What do you want to do with it?" I thought about it. We're having a party. A party? Everyone who stood by me, everyone who supported me, everyone who didn't know what Marcus and Brittany were doing, they all got dressed up. They all brought gifts. They all took time out of their lives to be here. So, we're going to go to that reception. We're going to eat that food, drink that champagne, dance to that music, and we're going to celebrate me, celebrate my freedom, celebrate the fact that I didn't make the biggest mistake of my life. Maya grinned. I love it. Let's go. And that's exactly what we did. We went to the reception venue. About 150 people showed up. Everyone who supported me. My real friends. My family. Even some of Marcus's family who were disgusted by what he did. We ate. We drank. We danced. I gave another speech. A shorter one this time. Thank you all for being here. I know this wasn't the party you expected. But life rarely goes according to plan. What matters is how we respond when it doesn't. Today, I responded by choosing myself, by refusing to settle for less than I deserve. And I want to thank every single person in this room who has ever made me feel worthy of real love. So let's celebrate. Not a wedding, but a beginning. The beginning of the rest of my life. A life built on truth, on self-respect, on knowing my worth. To new beginnings. Everyone raised their glasses. To new beginnings. We partied until 2 a.m. I danced in my wedding dress until my feet hurt. I laughed until my stomach ached. I cried a little. But mostly I felt free. free from the weight of that lie, free from a future that would have been built on betrayal. In the days after, the fallout was intense. Marcus called me 87 times. I didn't answer once. He sent texts, long paragraphs about how sorry he was, how he made a mistake, how he wanted to fix things, how we could still get married, just postpone it, go to therapy. I blocked him. Brittany tried to reach out too, through mutual friends, through social media, even showed up at my apartment once. I didn't open the door, just told her through the intercom, "You made your choice, live with it." I later found out they didn't even end up together. Turns out their soulmate connection didn't survive being exposed. They blamed each other. Broke up 2 weeks after the wedding. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Marcus's family reached out to apologize. His mom especially. She sent me a long letter about how she raised him better than that. How she was ashamed. How she understood if I never wanted to see them again. I appreciated that. I really did. My family, they were incredible. My dad, who never shows emotion, hugged me that night and said, "I'm proud of you. You're stronger than I ever was." My mom kept asking if I was okay, and I told her the truth. I'm not okay yet, but I will be, because I did the right thing. The video of my wedding objection went viral. Someone recorded the whole thing on their phone, posted it on TikTok. Within 48 hours, it had 15 million views. The comments were split. Half the people said I was a hero, that I was brave, that I inspired them to leave their own toxic situations. The other half said I was cruel, that I should have handled it privately, that I humiliated him unnecessarily. Honestly, I didn't care. Because the people calling me cruel weren't the ones who'd been lied to for 8 months. They weren't the ones who'd planned a wedding while their fiancé planned a future with someone else. They didn't know what it felt like to be betrayed by the two people you trusted most, so their opinions didn't matter. What mattered was that I told my truth, publicly, unapologetically. A week after the wedding, I did something unexpected. I took the $80,000 I was supposed to spend on the wedding, well, what was left of it after the non-refundable deposits, and I went on a trip. Alone. I went to Bali. For 3 weeks. I stayed in a villa overlooking the ocean. I did yoga, I meditated, I cried, I healed. I also reflected on the relationship, on the signs I'd missed, on the red flags I'd ignored. There were signs. There always are. The way Marcus would put his phone face down when I walked in the room. The way Brittany stopped making eye contact with me around month 6. The way Marcus started picking fights over nothing, like he was looking for a reason to be unhappy. I'd ignored it all, because I wanted the fairy tale. I wanted the wedding, the house, the kids, the future we'd planned. But wanting something doesn't make it real. And love shouldn't require you to ignore your intuition. I've been asked 100 times if I regret what I did. If I regret exposing them publicly. If I regret not handling it privately. If I regret spending all that money just to blow up my own wedding. My answer is always the same. No. Not even a little bit. Because that day, standing at that altar, I had a choice. I could have said nothing. Married him. Pretended I didn't know. Maybe confronted him on the honeymoon. Maybe lived in denial for years. Or I could have canceled everything quietly. Called it off. Let people wonder why. But I chose option 3. I chose truth. I chose myself. I chose to make it impossible for him to rewrite history. And yes, it was expensive. Yes, it was dramatic. Yes, it was public. But it was also honest. And in a world where women are told to be quiet, to handle things privately, to protect men's reputations even when those men don't protect our hearts, my public objection was an act of revolution. I will not be quiet about my pain just to make someone else comfortable. I will not handle betrayal with grace and silence while he moves on with his life. I will not protect the image of a man who destroyed my trust. It's been 6 months now. I'm doing better. Not perfect, but better. I moved to a new apartment. Unfriended Brittany and everyone who took their side. Cut off anyone who told me I overreacted. I'm back at work. I got promoted, actually. Senior associate at my law firm. I've been on a few dates. Nothing serious yet, but I'm open to it. When I'm ready. I still think about that day sometimes, about standing at that altar, about raising my hand, and every single time I'm proud of that woman, the woman who chose herself even when it hurt, even when it was scary, even when everyone was watching. Because here's what I've learned. Your worth is not determined by whether someone chooses you. It's determined by whether you choose yourself when someone else doesn't. Marcus didn't choose me. He chose lies. He chose Brittany. He chose temporary pleasure over permanent commitment. But I chose me. I chose my dignity. I chose my future. I chose a life where I don't have to wonder if I'm enough. Because I am enough. I always was. And any man who makes me question that doesn't deserve me. So to anyone listening to this story, wondering if I'm a bitter woman who can't let go, here's my response. I'm not bitter. I'm free. I'm not holding a grudge. I'm holding a boundary. I'm not stuck in the past. I'm building a future where I never have to check my partner's phone at 2 a.m. I destroyed my wedding because my wedding was already destroyed. I just refused to let it collapse in private while everyone congratulated us in public. I chose spectacle over silence, drama over denial, truth over comfort, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Last month, I got a message from a woman I've never met. She said she saw my video, said she was planning a wedding with a man she didn't trust, said she'd been ignoring red flags for 2 years. She said my story gave her the courage to call off her wedding, to walk away, to choose herself. She thanked me, and that's when I knew. The $80,000 wasn't wasted. The public humiliation wasn't petty. The dramatic objection wasn't unnecessary. It was a message. To every woman who's ever been told to be quiet, to every person who's ever ignored their gut, to every soul who's ever settled because they were scared of starting over. The message is this. You deserve a love that doesn't require detective work. You deserve a partner who chooses you every single day, not just on Instagram. You deserve honesty, loyalty, and respect. And if you're not getting that, walk away. Even if it's at the altar. Even if everyone's watching. Even if it costs you everything. Because staying in a lie will cost you more. It will cost you your peace, your self-respect, your ability to trust. And those things are priceless. My name is Jasmine Carter. I'm 28 years old. I'm a corporate attorney from Atlanta. And 6 months ago, I stood at my own wedding and objected to my own marriage. People called me crazy, dramatic, extra, bitter. They can call me whatever they want. Because I know the truth. I'm not the woman who destroyed her wedding. I'm the woman who saved her life. And that $15,000 Vera Wang dress? I still have it. Hanging in my closet. Not as a reminder of what I lost, but as a reminder of what I refused to settle for. I was beautiful in that dress. Powerful, brave. And someday, when I meet someone who deserves me, someone who chooses me every single day, someone who makes me feel safe instead of suspicious, I might wear white again. But this time, when the pastor asks if anyone objects, the only sound will be silence. Because real love doesn't come with objections. It comes with certainty. And I'm willing to wait for that, however long it takes. Because I've already walked down an aisle once for the wrong person. Next time, I'm walking toward forever, not away from a lie. So, to Marcus, wherever you are, thank you. Thank you for showing me who you really were before I legally tied myself to you. Thank you for the affair. Thank you for the betrayal. Because that betrayal set me free. And to Brittany, I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because holding on to anger would give you power you don't deserve. You wanted my life. You can't have it, because my life is mine, and I'm just getting started. If you're listening to this, and you're in a relationship that makes you feel crazy, makes you check phones, makes you doubt yourself, listen to your gut. Your intuition is not paranoia. It's protection. And if you ever find yourself standing at an altar about to marry someone you don't fully trust, remember my story. It's never too late to choose yourself, even if everyone's watching, especially if everyone's watching, because the only person you have to live with for the rest of your life is you. Make sure you can look that person in the mirror. I can. And it feels incredible. My name is Jasmine Carter. I destroyed my wedding to save my life. And I'd do it all over again.